Loci. Okay, what is loci? Well, it's like it's a way of like mapping out sort of areas from a point. So like, well, from a point, from a line, from two lines, and maybe from a shape. So we'll do a little bit of work if that was the only lesson. So I didn't expect you to know everything after an hour. There's quite a bit of loci. The first scenario you can get is loci from a point. So can you put number 1 from a point? Okay, and if you could leave like a little bit of space, say about 4 or 5 centimeters, and then draw a point here and call it A, and then I'm going to go back to where it says from a point and I'm going to say draw the loci of 3 centimeters from A. Okay, any idea how I'd do that? 3 centimeters from A. Lewis?
Like you measure 3 centimeters away from A, draw straight lines either side, and then something involving like you do like a sort of semicircle sort of thing.
Oh, if I was doing a line, you're absolutely spot on. You've done a harder version of what we've got here. It's even simpler when it's just a point.
Do you just draw a circle around it?
You just draw a circle around it. If I had a look at it,
David, I had my hand up as well.
if you look at drawing it, basically I could come and put what I usually do, like first time I introduce it to younger years, is I go and get like a ruler and say, right, 3 centimeters and draw a point here. Then someone else comes up and they measure 3 centimeters and they go over there. And by the time you get about like 4 or 5 people up, you can quite clearly see you're just going to make a circular motion around it. Okay, so it's like me like having a piece of string that's like 3 centimeters long, pinning it here and saying, right, where can I go with that? I can just walk around in a circle. Okay, think of it like a dog on a lead in the middle of a garden, or I've tethered the lead to a point in the garden. Where can he go? We can just walk around in a circle, can't he? Okay, so all I do, open my compass to 3 centimeters, and then I draw a lovely circle around it, which I'm finding is a lot harder when you have a visualizer away. Right, so when we look back at the video, don't need to worry that Mr. Ashton can't draw circles, it's just because the visualizer is in the way, okay? So, key word is from A. That's not the loci. The loci, this circle is everything that is exactly 3 centimeters from A. Everywhere on this line is 3 centimeters from A. It says, draw the point of 3 centimeters from A. So that would be everything inside here, okay? So what I do is just shade it lightly. You don't need to go mad. You'd identify it like that. Okay. If it said draw the loci of everything further than 3 centimeters from A, you'd actually do exactly the same arc, but you'd shade everything around it. Okay, not inside the circle. So you get asked 2 questions. Say stuff that is within a certain distance from a point, or stuff that is further than a certain distance from a point. Okay. All good. So point or part number 1. Part number 2, loci from 2 points. Or should we do a line? Let's do look from a line. Draw loci of, let's stick with 3 centimeters from AB. Okay, so again, leave around 4 centimeters if you can, something like that. And then draw a line that's about 5 centimeters. Okay, now Lewis gave a pretty good diagnosis of what's going on here before. Would you mind reminding us again, Lewis?
It's like you draw 3 centimeters away, and then you have a line.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
You have 2 lines that are about exactly the same length, and then you join those 2 lines with the compass.
Very good.
I guess you put the compass on. I say if you join in the ones near point B, you put the compass on B. And then
Good. So basically, if I was looking at this line, 3 centimeters in that line, well, that could be anywhere. Now I'm going to use the compass and just do a little bit of maths here. If I'm on 24 there, 21 would be here. That would be 3 centimeters. And that is 3 centimeters from the line. And then I could do that literally going all the way across, all the way up to the end of that line here. And again, I could have done the same by here. And if I draw a straight line, all of these points that are parallel to that line are 3 centimeters from AB. But when you start getting to the end, it's like having the dog, but this time instead of just being fixed at a point, he's like on a rail. So his leads will let him sort of walk along there. But what happens when he gets to the end? He's going to go around, isn't he? Okay. So I draw the two straight line bits here first. So again, doing 3 centimeters here. Again by here. Okay. And then, for the ends, you need to open your compass to 3 centimeters. Now, my top tip, instead of actually going to the ruler and measuring it here, I come actually and just do it on the line to here. Measure where it is to the line so it meets up perfectly. Does that make sense? Then I'm going to do A first, and it's going to be one long, continuous thing like that. Okay?
So can you just draw a circle on both points and then connect the top?
You could do, yeah, that wouldn't be wrong if you did that, because obviously within here, obviously the dog could have actually walked out there and just lead would be slack if it came here, as long as you did that bit there and then sort of like crossed out the bits that you didn't want. Okay, all good? And then number 3, we'll do loci from 2 points. Again, what was the key word in question 2? Missed this bit. From AB, so that'd be everything again within this space here. Okay. So for number 3, I'm just looking at my page there. It's going to be tricky for me to actually get this to work. I'm going to draw quite a small line. If you've got like a larger bit of space, I'm just going to draw lines about 5 centimeters. Should be okay for me. But if you're running out of space, if you've got less space than that, start a new page. Okay. Okay, now we've already done this bit. Loci from 2 points is just a perpendicular bisector. Because it's asked to do closer to B than A, basically if I chop that in half, then I know where it is cut in half, and I can say, well, everything to the left is closer to A, everything to the right is closer to B. So what I do is open my compass to just more than half, draw my arc, keeping my compass exactly the same, draw another arc from A, that, chop it in half, I'm drawing the line through. So everything this side of the line, this is closer to A, and everything this side of the line is closer to B. Which one did we want? We wanted closer to B, didn't we? Now you're more than likely to have 2 bits of loci come up, so you'd have, this question is very, very, very common in the exam, except it would give you that one, and maybe point number 1 as well, so like closer to B, but no further than 5 centimeters from C, or something like that, or no further than 4 centimeters from A. So then you draw a circle of A, 4 centimeters around A, and then closer to B, but within that circle. Okay, so we'll have a look at doing some GCSE questions as well next week. There's not a huge amount else we can do. We can do a triangle as well, and that's pretty much the last one. And then you can also get asked to do a path. I might have to wait to do that on an actual GCSE question because it'll be too hard for us to draw down. Okay, number 4. This is our 4th point, isn't it? So yeah, number 4, loci in a triangle. And then closer to XY than YZ. Okay? So can you just draw, again, just some generically triangle that looks something like this. So I think I've done that, 4 to 12. So I've done the base is 8 centimeters, and then about 5 and a 7-ish. Okay, now this one does pose a harder question for me. What am I doing here? Any ideas? Luke? Fantastic, we are. We're going to be bisecting an angle here, but which angle? There's 3 of them. Is it X, Y?
It's Y.
Oh, I wasn't saying the answer then. It's just, is it X? Or why did you think it was X? Or you changed your mind? Change your mind. We think it's Y because it's in both. Fantastic. If you look here, Y is there. Y is there. If I went and actually physically highlighted the line XY, just did it in green there, that's XY. This is YZ. Where do they meet? At angle Y. Okay. But the idea that Anthony said is what I like to live by as well. That if that letter's in both of them, that's the angle we're bisecting. Okay? So compass, 3 centimetres ish. Where it crosses, inside, outside, and chop them in half. Okay, so closer to XY is which bit? Top bit or bottom bit? Top bit? Spot on. Okay, the last one I'm going to do is the path of the crazy goat, quite a famous one in the WJC history. Can you leave a space of about 4 centimetres to the left? You can. Is there any way you can squeeze this in? It's our last example, if you can get it anywhere in your book. Yeah? So leaving a little bit of space to the left, can you leave about 4 centimetres at the top and then literally just draw a rectangle here. I'm going to say this is a building. Okay. Now the path of the crazy goat is tethered 3 centimetres from the edge of the building. So if you come to the edge of the building here, he is tethered by here. So that's my goat. Okay. So that's a distance of 3 centimetres between here to here. The goat is on a lead of 4 centimetres. In scale, obviously I know that would be cruel to put a goat on a lead of 4 centimetres. That's nothing. We say 1 centimetre is equal to 1 metre. It would say, draw the loci of where he can go. Or the locus, it might say. Draw the locus of where he can go. Okay? So, how would I do that? Well, first of all, ideally, I'd move my working out probably down a little bit, because I'm going to go through the question, but it's not the end of the world. And in the actual question, if this came up, you'd have plenty of space. So, 4 centimetres, so I'm getting my ruler, point on 0, pencil on 4. Now, I know up to the building here that he could roam all the way to the edge of the building there, go through my question, and then he would come to here. But something would happen at that point there. Any idea what would happen to his lead? Go on. It would get caught on the corner of the building. So the mistake that people make is they just draw a circle like that, and it's not the case. What's going to happen here is we get a new snagging point. So you open your compass to that distance there, so point on the corner of the building, and then pencil where he could get up to, and then it's only a tiny little bit that he can go around the corner. Okay, so it should something like that by the time it's finished. It's a little bit strange, isn't it? Okay.